Welcome to the Really Likable Geeks podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Stuart.
This is a podcast where we talk about nerd stuff and things that keep you from going outside, like video games, comic books, anime, and other nerd things alike. This episode of the Really Likable Geeks podcast brought to you by Audible. Did I just jumble that all together?
A little bit.
Audible. It's brought to you by Audible. Thank you, Audible,
like
for
a guy.
sponsoring this episode of the
Mouthful of
podcast. Book of the week there, Stuart.
The book of the week. Yeah, I led into that very dramatically.
What are you laughing about?
Just because, I don't know, never mind.
Matt's dead, by the way. That's why
Again.
that's why Billy's here.
Again, he's dead again. All right. Book of the week.
The book of the week is The Mistborn, The Final Empire, the first book in the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson.
Who we love. We love Brandon
Yeah, we talk about him a lot. Well,
You guys talk about him way too much.
Yeah. I mean, dude writes like 5 400-page books a year.
Same.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Number 1 New York Times bestselling author, Brandon Sanderson.
He beats me on that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, for Mistborn. For 1,000 years the ash fell and no flowers bloomed. For 1,000 years the Ska slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler, the sliver of infinity, reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, divinely invincible. Then when hope was so long lost that not even its memory remained, a terribly scarred, heartbroken half-Ska rediscovered it in the depths of the Lord Ruler's most hellish prison. Kelsier snapped and found in himself the powers of a Mistborn. A brilliant thief and natural leader, he turned his talents to the ultimate caper, with the Lord Ruler himself as the mark. Kelsier recruited the Underworld's elite, the smartest and most trustworthy Alamancers, each of whom shares one of his many powers, and all of whom relish a high-stakes challenge. Only then does he reveal his ultimate dream, not just the greatest heist in history, but the downfall of the divine despot. But even with the best criminal crew ever assembled, Kel's plan looks more like the ultimate long shot, until luck brings a ragged girl named Vin into his life. Like him, she's a half-Ska orphan, but she's lived a much harsher life. Vin has learned to expect betrayal from everyone she meets, and gotten it. She will have to learn to trust if Kel is to help her master powers of which she never dreamed. This saga dares to ask a simple question. What if the hero of prophecy fails?
I'm very proud of you.
What do you think of this book, Billy?
That sounded long and
Yeah.
convoluted.
He wasn't listening.
I was messing around, I'll admit. But it sounds interesting. It definitely does.
It's a good book.
I'm a movie watcher.
I just wanted to put you on the spot.
I'm a movie watcher. I'm not a book reader.
Well, luckily for you.
You're that guy from... Hold on, guys. I got to go rewind my book.
I gotta go rewind my book. Pretty much.
Luckily for you, they're coming out with the Mistborn movie.
That is lucky for me
Next
because
year.
it sounds interesting, but to sit down,
It is.
It's super ADD. Doesn't agree with books. I should pop pills.
Wow.
I don't know how we got here, but all right.
Yeah, that escalated really
guess-
quickly.
I
I,
guess.
don't read. I should take E, like, or something.
No.
I don't even think I said that right. I should take E. It's...
I should.
Yeah,
I should eat.
pop E,
Should
right?
I should eat.
We're gonna
Anyways.
go smoke some ecstasy.
Yeah.
Smoke some ecstasy.
Shoot some E.
All right, we don't condone the use of drug paraphernalia.
Unless it's legal, then they're
Unless
cool.
it's legal.
Coffee.
Then yeah. Coffee is a real drug and alcohol. So, good book. You can pick it up for a standard book price at all your major booksellers.
It's $10 on Amazon.
What are we talking about this week there, Stuart?
Oh, am I doing the pitch?
Usually it's Matt, but he's not here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can't do Matt's voice.
Well,
You're pretty close. All you had to do
here's
is
the
move your
thing.
microphone away.
you gotta smack your lips. You gotta smack whenever Matt's about to make like a cutting point. He'll
yeah.
well, that's what
He
he does
does. You're
every
absolutely
single
right.
time.
No, he
You're
goes like,
absolutely
he goes,
Yeah,
just like that.
Smacks
And
his
he
lips.
goes,
You
it's
know-
really, really low. We love you, Matt.
His eyebrows raised really high too.
Rest in peace, Matt.
What's going on here in this? Oh gosh. What's that?
we're in
That's
Australia.
a George Carlin bit, isn't
Rip.
it?
Is it?
Isn't it? Where he was like, it's a bit where he's like, everyone wants to think that all of our ancestors are looking down on us. No one wants to imagine that your grandma might be screaming up at you. I was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I miss George Carlin.
Yeah,
Rip.
He would have been.
Rest in peace.
He would have been very funny in these times.
he would have.
with the.
He would have. Ripped this generation apart.
because he was very anti-PC.
Yes,
His entire
He was a
stand-up.
Mac guy.
Yeah,
I hate you a little bit.
it's like Matt never left.
You're puns and everything.
Yeah, I had to keep it going.
Terrible puns.
Terrible, absolutely terrible.
Terrible.
So what are we talking about this week, Stuart?
We were talking about video games, but specifically music.
Music and video
Why would
games.
you ask me and then
Video game butts.
You stopped like
specifically.
you wanted me to say it at the same
no,
time.
dramatic pause.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Dramatic pause.
I'll let you
no,
try
Let's
again.
let's
time has
retry
passed.
this.
Try
You
again.
can come to me.
We're talking about video games, specifically music and video games. Yeah. Good stuff.
There you go.
I'm excited.
This podcast is not going very good in the beginning steps.
I think
here.
it's going. I think it's going great.
I think it's going
but-
swimmingly.
But we are talking about music video games. Specifically, we're going to talk about
2 hours of rock
the-
band.
Yeah, oh, man. We're going to talk about the evolution
30 minutes of
of
Guitar Hero.
music in video games. And then we're going to talk about a few other things. But yeah, it's all going to be revolved around music, which is great because we haven't done this yet. We haven't done anything revolved around music yet in this entire we've been.
It's really good. To do
32
things you
episodes. We haven't
yet.
done anything about music, which is crazy because you're in a band.
Yeah.
Your dad's in a band. My dad's done music. I've done music. Like,
I also
have
do
we?
music.
Yeah, and you've done music.
I
We've
listen
all
to
like
music.
we all kind of listen to music.
We've all played at a bar in front of terrible people before.
I've definitely played rock.
You
band.
have definitely played rock band.
I've for sure.
You
played
have lived
band.
the rock band.
Ugh.
What is that epic beat?
Uh,
But anyways, yeah. So
sound off, sir. We are recording.
You're absolutely right.
So let's see. Let's start off with the history of video game music.
Start it off, Steve.
The first game to ever actually feature sound was Pong.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
that,
Boop. Just little beep. Little beep sound. Was it Pong? Was that the
Yeah.
first video game that ever had
I think
music
so.
in it? A sound in it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Let's Google it.
Google.
First
Going
game with sound was. Oh, this is gonna take forever.
Was
I don't have time to read this Wikipedia
longest
entry.
drum roll ever.
Dude, I like how I did it, and there's an actual article on it. That's pretty cool. But okay, we'll just say it's Pong. If we're wrong, let us know.
Yeah. just
Link
let
us in the comment section down
We're
below.
all pretty sure it's Pong. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that. Which is just beeps. What was
if
the?
you want to question
well,
the
what
council,
was the first video game ever released?
With
period. I'm assuming that had to have sound, right?
was
Coleco?
ColecoVision before?
ColecoVision.
Well, no, because the Pong was for the Famicom. wasn't
Right.
it? I believe Coleco was after
I
that.
think yeah,
Let's
you're right.
see.
Coleco was after
I
that.
believe Famicom was
Famicom was first.
because there were video games, but they were text adventures for like the Apple II.
Yeah.
Right.
And those are video games, but they didn't have sound. Like
Right,
Zork
right.
didn't have sound.
Zork.
Right.
Good game.
I Vorpal Blade.
Let's see.
Such a weird game.
An early example
It's a
of an
weird
approach to
name.
video game music was the opening chiptune in Gunfight in 1975.
Zork from Orc.
Let's see. Oh,
1970.
man. See, we're
So
just
in
growing.
the first games before they even had 8-bit, they had chiptunes, which are these
Yeah, like
crystals,
Bit
and
Crush.
they would.
Right? That's what it was, right? It was Bit Crush.
Yeah, that
Kinda?
kind of.
Okay.
What Bit Crush came from?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
before that.
Yeah. Fair.
And they would, vibrate. And that would make the sound.
Yeah. It's kind of like how it's kind of, well, I guess it's the same thing with like pinball machines. Now, pinball machines have all these crazy, the crazy sound systems and
Mhm.
everything triggers off of what you hit. Back in the day, it was all just like metal sounds and like different. It was
They'd
just
have,
like
like, a
different
bell-
clips of
they'd have,
something,
like,
like
a
a
bell
bell
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like all sorts of weird stuff. And then of course over time then they added in the sound system.
Yeah.
And then you had explosion sounds and full on.
Yeah, you actually had like music that would play in the background.
Yeah. One of my favorite pinball machines, by the way, is actually a NASCAR one. It's rad.
Really?
Yeah. Like you play it, and as you're playing it, it's like you hear the NASCAR go around. You know, there's like a track that goes around that the balls go on. And after you start getting so many, like 4 or 5 balls coming, they start racing each other on different levels of track. It's wicked. And depending on which one wins, that one comes out first. And like it's awesome. It's super wicked.
I mean, well,
Pinball's cool.
arcade cabinets had music long before home consoles.
Yes.
did. Like actual
Yeah.
music, not 8-bit.
They had the room for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, you're not going to put
Let's
that in
see.
your house under your TV.
Yeah. I mean,
You could.
you
Some
might.
people probably did.
How big's your house? How big's your TV?
This is good.
Yeah.
These are the questions.
This is good. Let's see. History of digital sound it's funny, we were just talking about pinball, the pinball area. The beginning of the 20th century, 1930, a game called Baffle Ball was manufactured. A term coined in 1936 they called modern pinball games is what they started calling them. Slot machines, they were basically made out of the same parts that came with slot machines.
I mean, slot machines lead the way.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I mean, you also have the what's the Japanese thing called?
Talk to me.
They have like tons of gambling dens in Japan of the ball falling down. It's
Plinko?
It's not Plinko. It's like that.
Price is Right?
It's like that, but it's the Japanese like gambling version.
Oh.
Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Pachinko is
Oh,
like
yeah,
a-
Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Yeah,
Plinko,
yeah.
Pachinko.
Well, because Plinko came after.
Right.
But yeah,
But Plinko is
it's the same thing.
famous.
It's
Oh, here we
same.
go.
Pachinko's famous. They have pachinko gambling dens.
If you're
Look,
watching,
just spay and neuter your pet. All right.
I'm just gonna say this. If you guys are watching, I'm sorry that I'm on so many screens and doing so many things right now. But in the 1950s, a young man named Ralph Baer, a German engineer, built the best TV set in the world. He suggested that some kind of interactive game should be included in the device that clearly distinguishes a product from other companies' TVs. But the management ignored the idea. Take 18 years for his vision to come a reality. So the first working model, what we now call video games, was in 1958. The game had been created in order to keep visitors to the Brookhaven National Laboratories in New York from being bored, and was exposed there for almost 2 years. His tennis-type game...
Video games keeping people from being bored for over 60 years.
Right. You just did that.
Science is boring. I wish we had something else to do. Hey, kids, try this. What?
Pops out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh my God! Get away from my children! Don't worry, ma'am. Just inviting them back to my van.
Oh my gosh. His tennis-type game was designed using analog electronics based on vacuum tubes.
Yeah, that's neat.
No detailed records seem to be survived. The game was probably silent, believing that he had not invented anything of importance.
Wow, they have not. There's no record of it.
There was no record of it.
Oh, man, that sucks.
The real breakthrough came in 1961 when 3 young students at MIT
Yeah.
That's true video games.
tried to
though.
figure out a cool demonstration for all new shiny
Did you write it down?
PDP-1, the
No.
program data processor. It was a computer manufacturer. Oh, that was mainframe gambling.
Yeah,
Back then.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, the guys at NASA created like the first-person shooter game.
right.
But the first, I mean,
Space War, wasn't it?
No, not that one. The first-person
The first-
shooter. Space,
Oh,
Was
Space
that
Force
before or
was-
after they faked the moon landing?
after.
I
Okay.
hate you a little.
It was the
Let's see
Nazi
here,
scientist
I'm trying to just all I'm trying to find
That's
is
actually that's actually true. After the German Empire fell in World War II, both the Russians and Americans were snatching up every
Oh yeah.
German scientist who worked on the rocket program, and the rocket that got Buzz Aldrin
Yeah, it was the
and Neil Armstrong to the moon was partly designed by
Nazis.
Nazis.
Yeah.
So, Velcro, powdered drink. These are all things invented.
I
by
love powder drink.
Yeah,
Powder drink is
Who doesn't
my
like some Tang
yeah.
in the morning?
Tang.
Some nice Tang.
Yeah.
You like Tang in the morning?
saying is good.
Tang is
Yeah. I love Velcro too.
it's tangy.
Let's see. In
Those
1958, a nuclear physicist created a crude electronic tennis game for visitors of Brookhaven National Laboratory. We already talked about this. So, 13 years later, here it is. 13 years later,
Ooh.
Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney created the first video game with sound, Computer Space. The year after that, the height of game audio was naked blip of a paddled ball in the arcade smash, Pong.
Okay, so it wasn't.
There you go.
You nailed it. Sir Paul McCartney can hum the Super Mario Brothers theme, which he wants to. Why did they put that in there? Like, that's a big deal.
Hey, the Beatles video games.
Shameless
Oh, my
pandering. No,
gosh.
you know why? Because it's the Google search metric.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
okay.
Let's throw in a famous person's name. So
Paul McCartney.
It's like
Let's see.
okay.
Nobuo Ematsu.
Kurt Schilling had a video game
Los
studio.
Angeles.
Kevin Bacon.
Beck has included 8-bit intro in his chart-popping tune "Girl,"
Yeah.
while Trent Reznor stepped away from Nine Inch Nails to add music to games like Quake, Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
There is even a chiptune, a rich subgenre of electronic music created entirely using circuitry of our favorite handheld and home consoles of the 80s.
I've seen that.
That's circuit bending.
It does not sound good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It sounds exactly what you would think it sounds like the freaking old AOL dial-up. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
They're like people who like use like hard drives and like chip tunes to like make like music. It sounds literally like the lowest form.
It sounds like
of
dropping my hard drive
auditory.
on the ground.
Yeah, it sounds
while
like
it's running.
garbage. Like it just people are like, I feel like it's part of that whole like postmodern like art movement where it's like, oh, it's so terrible, it's good. It's like, no, it's just
Just
terrible.
Kind of like where you'd get a blank canvas with a line through it that sells for like $4 million.
Yes. Did
Yeah.
you see in like San Francisco, like a bunch of art students were like trolling everyone?
We've talked about this before.
I don't know. Well, because
I was.
I know.
We didn't talk. You. Talked
If you
about
listen to the podcast, you
Stop
know. We talked about this already.
a bunch of art
Continue,
students
though.
like put their like a pair of glasses like on the ground and
Yeah.
like put like a little placard over it. Like it was an
Oh,
art
yeah,
installation.
yeah, I saw
People were
that.
like, "Oh, it's so
yeah.
fascinating." Like
I saw an
or
article
the
on that.
lady at the New York
They
modern
put a
art.
bag of trash on the ground or whatever it was.
No, that was a real art piece.
Yeah, that
the,
was a-
the
that one
garbage
was a
can
real art
and the
piece.
trash lady, the cleanup lady, threw it away
Yeah.
because she's like, "This is garbage." That's why I threw it away.
She was doing her job.
It's like that
She was
that
doing
piece
her
of art
job.
was $350,000. She's like, it was trash.
It's like it's just stuff that
It
people
was- it
got
was-
at their house.
She's like, you can have my
she
trash
lifts
can.
up the bag.
She starts freaking out.
No, it's. I feel like it falls under that category.
Yeah,
where it's
it
like,
I agree.
So let's see. In the mid '80s, Nintendo dominated the home console market, ushering a golden age of game themes. The NES covered 5 channels to work with: 2 square wave channels, 1 triangle wave channel, and a noise channel. And a digital channel that could play crude samples. You know,
Yeah, man.
the explosion sounds. All music needed to be converted to a basic text for programming purposes, so implementation was still a complex
Like pole
and
position.
often an unmusical
Yeah.
process, as game composer Neil Baldwin, James Bond Jr.,
Alec.
writes on it. No, just stop right there. I'm not gonna hashtag this episode Alec Baldwin again. Remember we did that?
Yeah. He was very upset about it. I don't even know why. Apparently, he listens to the show.
He didn't like it.
Well, you know, Alec is probably going to be listening to this. So
Don't be famous.
I hate you. You suck.
There you
Stop
go.
being so mean to your daughter.
Oh my!
Did you hear it?
Moving on.
No,
That doesn't pertain to this.
doesn't it?
So over time, as video game consoles have gotten better, as music has gotten more advanced, the way that we create music has become more accessible and easy. You have freaking 12-year-old kids making dance hits on laptops. Like it's so easy to make music now.
I don't know about hits.
I don't know about the hits.
I don't know about hits.
You
but
can though.
Making dance.
You-
There
I mean,
are
everyone
kids.
knows how to
there
make-
there
everyone
are
knows how to
kids
use-
like on YouTube who are making dances who have like millions of views because they made a beat.
But I mean,
You can't. I'm not wrong about this.
no,
but
that is
I'm
true.
in the camp of if you don't actually play an instrument,
Oh, I agree.
then you're not a musician.
I agree. A computer's not an instrument.
Yeah, Fruity Loops is not an instrument. It requires
Billy,
no
you gotta
talent
say
or
something.
timing.
Okay. Well, kinda.
It's like saying someone who's
requires-
auto-tuned is a good singer.
It requires a knowledge of like keys and structures. I believe that some of that can get away. It doesn't require timing at all, or it doesn't require actually playing anything. I can agree with that.
It doesn't take musical talent.
Okay. That'll hold up in court.
That'll hold up in court.
So take that, every DJ.
Because I
have
guess
no
DJ.
I mean, there
because I guess it doesn't really matter where you go because you don't have a vocalist.
There are
Okay. Well, I'm just
DJs who can play instruments and do play live.
Right. I agree. I 100% agree. I was agreeing with you.
The helmets.
Daft Punk.
Yeah, Daft Punk.
I love Daft
like
Punk.
Devo.
Devo plays their own instrument.
Yeah, I know they do.
Oh.
They had the helmet.
They had those
I
weird
love-
red things.
I love.
the red pyramids.
I'm actually like a
Whip
really big
it.
fan of Devo.
Whip
Devo's really
it good.
good.
That was them,
Bob
right?
Bob and Mark Mothersbaugh did all of the Nickelodeon music in the 90s.
Did he?
Both of them did. The brothers. They did Rugrats.
I knew they did Rugrats.
Hey Arnold. Real Monsters.
Very good.
They did all of that.
Who's that?
Mark and Bob Mothersbaugh.
Mothersbaugh? Yeah, okay.
both of them.
That's why I was making sure it was right. But
Crack that whip.
Yeah, so
Whip it.
like Daft Punk, they
whip it
play
good.
their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is an art form to it,
But I honestly want
anybody
to
remember that Fireflies kid? Was that Owl City?
Adam Young? Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want
He's
to just,
great.
like shove a screwdriver in my ear every time I hear Sandstorm.
Dude, Darude is awesome.
That song has become like so. It's like in everything.
The
Like,
screwdriver over there if you want.
no, it's like whenever like anywhere in the world someone
like the
is
crappy
playing
music meme.
Sandstorm, as soon as it ends, somewhere else in the world Sandstorm starts again. Like that's how
It's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Sandstorm plays here, somebody kills himself over there.
yeah, probably.
Jeez.
Man. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I've fallen out of the loop of music, but I've never heard Sandstorm. I don't know
Yeah,
what we're
I
talking
guarantee.
Dude, I
you've heard
guarantee you've
it.
heard
I guarantee
Sandstorm.
you've
How's it go?
That's it.
It's like it's in every like 90s movie.
I can't like play
It's
copyright
seriously-
infringement.
No, you can get away with 30
No, I
seconds.
don't want to play it.
Oh, well. You can get, no, I looked up. Fair use is 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Anyways, it's
Okay.
It's not good.
I might
I
have heard it.
guarantee you'll listen to it and you'll be like,
Okay, yeah. It's probably one of those.
it was in Mortal. Did you see the Mortal Kombat movie?
No.
I thought you'd be like, boy,
Did you see Go?
No, that I did not see.
Okay.
You're asking a guy that doesn't really do much.
It's like all movies in the 90s. Like every movie.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Blade. It was in the first Blade.
It was in the first
I'm
place.
sure I know it.
With in the club scene right before he sets Donald Logue on fire.
Yeah.
That's what's playing in the club. You know what I'm talking about? At the very beginning of the movie,
I
before he
think I do.
sets Donald Logue
Yeah.
on fire.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't know
Yeah.
why this
I think
matters so much.
Because that song sucks.
It's like it doesn't matter.
In 1987, RBI Baseball was the first video game to have dynamic music, meaning that the music changed depending on the situation you happened to be in.
And that kind of evolved into what we have today, which is that's in
That, pardon the pun,
every game now.
changed the game.
Thanks. Nice.
That what? What'd you say?
That changed the game. Like,
Boo.
pardon the pun.
Boo.
But no, it did. It did because
Good game, Jay.
combo breaker. Because what would video games be if they just had one song the entire way through?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, yeah,
Bite your tongue.
The bad ones.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You know,
Unbite your tongue.
You know, like Sonic R.
Oh, the ones with the weird anthropomorphic interspecies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that one.
Like sexual relations. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I will say though that Sonic the Hedgehog did have some good music in it.
Yeah,
the casino
first-
one
Yeah,
was
the casino
rad.
music was awesome.
Casino music was
And it was
rad.
composed by...
Sonic, Michael Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, I actually,
You know, he actually couldn't play... He actually couldn't play any instruments. So he would sing the melody.
Yeah, the melody of it.
And then they would play
And then
it.
they would
he'd
play
be
it.
perfectly on key.
Yeah, because he was
He just had perfect pitch.
He was good at what he did.
Yeah.
I can't believe that just happened. That was great.
He's dead.
Actually, you know what's funny? Sonic. My favorite Sonic song is actually Sonic Boom from Sonic CD. That in that anime intro that they
Wow.
had. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking
That song
about.
is awesome. It's awesome. All right, Stuart's looking at me like the look of death, like I'm an idiot. Sonic Boom was awesome.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, you don't like it?
Sonic Boom's alright. I mean, it was good. It was
I thought it was good.
I mean, Sonic 1 through 3 was. I'm one of those guys. That
You're talking about the 16 or 32-bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic 1
Two.
through 3 and Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Dude, Sonic and Knuckles had like probably the best soundtrack.
And as soon as they went, was it Sonic 3D?
But then again,
Sonic 3D Blast.
hold on. We
so terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
we talked a little crap on it, but the music changed for Sonic. Because once you got to the boss, it was definitely different music.
But that was after. I'm saying the first one with dynamic music was
Right. But when Steve decided to, throw it under the bus,
yeah.
What did I throw? What did I
You're
do?
a jerk, Steve.
What did I do?
What didn't?
What do you mean I threw it under the bus? Threw what under the
Because you
bus?
said Sonic just had one song the whole way through. Because I said, well, what would you have if you have one song?
I said like Sonic R,
oh, okay.
like the crappy one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like Sonic Adventure.
You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
You're absolutely
Let's
right.
make Sonic 3D. No. No.
Sonic Pinball was where it was at. But
Yeah, that was cool.
Which one?
Sonic Pinball?
Dude, Sonic Spinball was awesome.
Yeah. Right?
Dude, that game was hard.
You know who was the
Wasn't
best
easy.
at pinball? Was Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah. He sure could play a mean pinball.
Tommy.
You know, that deaf, dumb, and blind kid.
Am I missing something here? Is it me?
Yes. Tommy.
Tommy.
Pinball wizard.
Oh no!
Sure could play a mean pinball.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, well. Good night, everybody.
There was a movie about it.
Yeah, there was. We've talked about it a few
Yep.
times.
Just gonna keep
Pinball
pitching,
wizard.
Just gonna keep pitching that joke.
So now we've gone from literally beeps and boops from paddles balls on a screen all the way to like major composers and
Actual
musicians
symphonies and
making crazy scores.
The other thing is
so
that,
good that we actually have symphonies now.
you want to watch Steve roll his eyes?
Oh god.
Sure.
Bloodborne and Dark Souls series have great music in it.
You don't like Dark Souls? Why?
He's so upset.
Oh, because he can't.
beat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I will
so you're a hater.
So I mean, when you can't get good, you get mad. You know?
I just don't care.
So you're a hater.
No, I just don't care about freaking Dark Souls.
Here's the
They
thing.
went, Dark Souls. I don't care.
It's a good
They have
game.
great music.
Neo was harder.
do.
Their
They-
soundtracks
Whatever.
are fantastic.
You're talking
Dark
about Nier?
Souls. No, Neo. Gosh.
Neo has a pretty good soundtrack
Neo
too.
is really
I'm
good.
sorry that I
soundtrack, but
misheard you.
It's just Dark Souls all the time, and I'm just like, God, get over it.
It's a good game.
No.
It's a great game. It created an entire genre.
From what?
It's called Souls-like.
I feel like Shinobi.
Like Code Vein and everything like that is definitely emulated.
Have you
the
ever
Soul
played a
style.
Team Ninja game?
Yeah. I would say Team Ninja
But
was
did
like,
Team Ninja make it as big as any of the Souls series?
Ninja Gaiden's pretty
Ninja
freaking
Gaiden.
huge.
Ninja
That's
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden's NES.
That's the one.
You're absolutely right.
Ninja Gaiden's
You're
the
absolutely
one.
right.
Like that's the when I think of like video games that were like crushing my soul
Ninja Gaiden.
like so hard. Like I think Ninja Gaiden.
Well, I'm
then
talking.
Dark Souls.
I'm talking play style. Now,
Well, okay. Here's
Freaking
so
here's-
that-
here's-
Onimusha was hard.
It
Well, no,
wasn't.
not-
I don't
I'm
think
not-
it was at the same level.
No,
I'm
but
not so much
Onimusha was
talking
pretty
about
difficult.
hard. I'm talking about like the way, like the fighting style and everything is
Okay,
now.
so the difference to me between like Dark Souls and Ninja Gaiden is like so much faster paced.
you're right.
Like you have to be like
Oh, freaking Dragon's
Yeah,
Dogma.
you
have
had
to-
you had to be on it.
that game wasn't hard.
It was the same style though.
I know, but that game wasn't that hard.
Darksiders.
Darksiders was neat.
Darksiders was not
they
nearly.
well. Here's the thing though. Darksiders had speaking of music, Darksiders had a lot of the composition team that did Zelda.
Yeah.
So that's why the music.
Darksiders is awesome.
That's why the
Another-
music was very
another
similar.
Great music.
Oh yeah, the Zelda music
series.
is iconic. Bum, 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 bum,
the
bum, 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 bum,
Symphony of the
bum.
Goddess
Oh,
is coming back through again.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. I've honestly been thinking about just getting a Switch just because I want to play that game.
You need to.
Yeah, and it's just.
You
I don't know,
the
man.
thing-
All they ever talk
and
about is Dark
talking
Souls,
about
and I'm
great,
just like
talking about
over
great
it.
music as well is there's not like much of a. I mean, there's a soundtrack to it, but a lot of music in that game is really subtle.
Yeah,
Really like just
It's
few
ominous.
notes here and there.
It's really
very
ominous.
it doesn't have to be overdone.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
great.
Uh,
it adds to every single bit of the mood in that
I think.
game.
I mean, it's the same way they've really video games have really followed the way that movies do it. You
Yeah.
know, where you'll have background music.
It's
and
so
it'll
much
be,
more immersive.
It'll be tone setting.
Yeah.
Because like I think the game that comes to mind the most when like I hear dynamic music change and I'm like, oh, what's happening around me is Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah,
Like, because
Yeah.
9 times
Yeah.
out of 10, I don't know that something's trying to kill me
until you're
before the music starts. Like,
until the music starts.
because it changes from that like lyrical kind of like earthy like music to like the drums and
I forgot about that.
yeah, that's the danger music.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
and
there's a couple of
It's
games.
it's hard for composers to do that because
Yeah.
in order to be able to transition like seamlessly between those, they don't write like full compositions anymore, like a full orchestral piece. They'll do 10-second clips. And then they'll have it be like, okay, if this is the last clip that plays,
This is where this one starts.
this is where it goes for danger.
Right.
So it
Right, yeah,
transitions
it has to-
in.
yeah.
It has to make sense. Like,
It has to link itself to the next part, or else it's gonna sound like stop and go.
yeah, exactly. So the way, I mean, it's kind of changed how they like compose music for video games when they like brought in dynamic.
I think it's great.
I love it. It's very interesting to see like they had to kind of rethink the way that they write music for an orchestra. So you'll see them record and they'll do like
Real
20-second
small bits,
clips.
yeah.
And they'll piece it together.
There's a few games
I'm
like
assuming
Dark
GarageBand
Souls. If you
probably.
want to.
Yeah,
You were talking
GarageBand.
about Dark Souls. There's a couple games like Dark Souls, and I agree with them. So Lords of the Fallen was very similar to Dark Souls.
Yes.
Shadow of Mordor was pretty similar.
No, that was more Assassin's Creed.
And a lot of
Yeah.
See,
I
the
mean,
way-
why?
the
Because
way-
they had a climbing mechanic.
The way I'm thinking, no, because everything was the same mechanic. I'm almost
I
sure
can
it's
see that.
almost the same engine.
Bound
you
by
have-
Flame.
See, here's the thing, like, because Dark Souls isn't.
I can't win.
Well, no, because
Can't win.
what I'm saying is like Dark Souls
Dark
isn't
Souls
a
are
hack
great.
and slash. It's not like a press a whole bunch of buttons. Like I felt like
Okay, so then what's the difference between that and Ninja Gaiden, like we were talking about? Because
Speed.
Ninja Gaiden is the same thing.
speed.
That's it.
Yeah,
Dark Souls is a lot more precise and like methodical,
Trust me, I know.
whereas like Ninja Gaiden is like you better have like
Shadow of the Colossus.
you better have pushed the right button like 20 seconds ago or you're
Yeah.
gonna die.
exactly. And I mean,
You got to rail. Like,
I'm not
bunch
trying to
of
make it
Adderall
sound
play
like
Ninja
this great
Gaiden.
thing. I'm just saying it had a great soundtrack. Was the
It
main
did,
point
and
I
that's
was
what we're
trying to make.
talking about. Yes, it did have a great soundtrack. I agree. I do agree. But other than that, like,
Told
I
you he was
don't know,
gonna roll his eyes.
We always talk about Dark Souls all the time. It always comes back to Dark Souls. I'm like, there's more games out there.
There are
There's more games out there.
But I mean, if
Neo
we're,
is way cooler.
if we're going on
and
but
harder.
Neo didn't have
What'd
as
you say?
great of a soundtrack. Bloodborne,
Dude,
I think,
Bloodborne was
had
actually
the
pretty
better
good.
soundtrack out of all of them.
That was made by
Bloodborne
a
was
different
good.
studio though, wasn't it? It was
Hey.
like the spiritual successor.
I mean, it was
It was
was
made by
still-
a different company, but it was basically
it
the
was
same
still
thing.
from Soft.
Oh,
Neo was different.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Neo should have been a
Bloodborne was still
freaking
from Soft,
Team Ninja
but
game.
it was a different team on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it should have been Team Ninja game. That game was hard as hell. I got to read this thing.
Yeah.
So give me a second to read. Because I have to. I want to remind everyone that this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Audible. Thank you, Audible, for supporting this episode of the Really Likable Geeks podcast. Audible has an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original shows, news, and more that you can listen to on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For our audience, Audible is offering a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial to give you an opportunity to check out their service. We recommend to you Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson and narrated by Michael Kramer, who is amazing. Just putting that out there. You get to keep your audiobook even if you cancel. So to download your free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/RLG and browse their unmatched selection of audio content. It's that easy. audibletrial.com/RLG. Again, that's audibletrial.com/RLG. Thank you, Audible, for sponsoring this episode of the Likable Geeks podcast. You're amazing. I've got so many books, so many audiobooks from them.
Have you seen the new Dark Souls book?
I'm going to punch you. I want Matt back.
One of the
I want Matt back. Matt, come back.
Take him.
Baby, come back.
one of speaking of Onimusha, the guy who did the guy who claimed to have done the music for Onimusha was also the guy who wrote the soundtrack for the first Resident Evil.
Yes. Oh, man, what's the name?
Samuro Gochi, who turned out to be a complete fraud and not even deaf.
Tell us about it.
So this guy claimed
Story time.
he claimed to be deaf, right? And it kind of fed into that mythos of like Japanese Beethoven. And he wrote a lot of like really important to Japan and like, you know, kind of the classical orchestral music community. I think his most well-known like symphony was his Symphony No. 1, which was called Hiroshima, 1945, and it was kind of like an elegy to you know, the bombing of Hiroshima during World War II. And then he went on. He wrote, you know, masterful hit after hit. He did the music for Resident Evil, for Onimusha, you know, like a bunch of iconic games. And then his one of his pieces was actually going to be used by a Japanese figure skater during the Sochi Olympics. And then suddenly came out, guy didn't write any of those songs.
Nope.
He wasn't even deaf.
Isn't that awkward to figure out?
It was another guy that he had just given money to write the pieces.
Ghostwriters.
And then the guy like came forward because the guy was like a part-time teacher at a music institution in Japan.
Yeah.
And like he said that like over the past 20 years of writing pieces for this guy, he'd only paid him like $70,000.
Takashi
Nagaki.
Yeah.
70 grand.
This
guy is like, he was the biggest thing in Japan because Japan's very like,
they're calling him like the digital age Beethoven.
yeah.
Like,
Can you imagine like someone? Hey, he turns around. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So everyone
that's how he got outed in the streets.
Everyone thought because people knew Nagaki because he was always with him.
Right.
So he just told people that he was his like assistant.
Yeah.
But he would go and Nagaki would like tell him like how to conduct like certain pieces, like at what part, because it was his music.
Right.
And then he would like come back and, you know, be the conductor. It was just
in
insane.
February 2014, it was revealed that most of the work attributed to him over the previous 18 years had been written by Takashi Nagaki. Yeah.
So the figure skater who was going to use his music, because it was right before the Olympics, was like, well, I have to use it. Like I've prepared this entire choreography around the music.
Yep.
And
And the dude had a ghostwriter the whole time.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I mean,
It's so dumb.
asterisk. A lot of people nowadays have a ghostwriter.
There's
yes, okay, there's a
but
difference
don't come
between,
out
like-
and play it up like you're deaf.
right.
And blah
No,
blah
yeah,
blah.
no, that's
Like
a little
holy
over the
crap.
top, you know.
Yeah.
Again.
He could hear fine.
Yeah. I mean, he could have not said that he was deaf.
He could have not claimed to have written all the music.
Could have not claimed to have written. Yeah, that's
because
true.
he was like a child prodigy, and then like I guess he just like when he hit adulthood, he just had nothing left in the tank.
He's got to impress his parents, man.
Yeah, he's got to impress those parents
True.
and his entire country.
His entire country.
Just a massive fraud.
Random segue, something that we weren't originally going to talk about.
No.
But I just remembered this right now because so we have this controversy with this dude in video. What are you doing?
I'm paying
Billy?
attention.
Don't look at me like that. I can't function. I can't even right now. But
I'm like a white girl on Tumblr. I can't even.
yeah. Anyways,
ILCE.
who remembers the Pokemon game that had the music in it? That was like
It was
entrapping people's souls or whatever it was. It was like haunted. It was Pokemon Black or
cemetery.
whatever it was. Or
No, it was
what was it called?
Red and Blue.
No, it was a specific one.
It was It was the very first versions of Red and Blue
Where
that came out.
Where you're in the tower?
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you're
it
in
was
the
in
tower
the-
and the music was.
Lavender Town.
Yeah, it was
Lavender Town.
It was in the cemetery of Lavender Town.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Lavender Town was a place. It was a tower in the game that had ghosts in it.
Dead Pokemon.
Yeah,
Hunter.
it had dead Pokemon. Is where you got Hunter
So
and
here's
Gengar,
a question.
Ghastly.
Cubone's
Where
mom.
are all of the alive haunters?
They're dead ghosts.
They're dead ghosts.
So they were
They just are.
from what?
I don't.
Yeah, are okay.
Don't ask me a question I don't know the
have you
answer
seen-
to.
have you seen the Gengar
Are
is the
haunters
dead-
the ghost version of all dead Pokemon?
I think so.
I think so. I think that's what.
Oh, is that
Ghastly,
what it-
I think that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, so when a Pokemon dies, it turns into
A haunter.
Have you seen the thing
Or
where
Ghastly.
Gengar looks
Okay.
like the dead
Well, wait, no.
Clefable?
yeah.
That's kind of
Wait,
weird.
that's confusing to me because Ghastly's a gas Pokemon. It's not a ghost
But a
Pokemon.
Haunter is a
But
ghost.
a Haunter is a ghost
Ghastly's
Pokemon.
still technically a ghost.
Okay. Weird. You may have just totally.
You never thought about
I never
that?
thought about that.
No, when I
No.
when I played
Pokemon's
it,
morbid.
well, 'cause
when
there's
I
dead-
played it when I was 10, I was like,
Technically, there's
where are
dead-
these ghosts coming from?
There's dead Pokemon too, because I mean, like the whole premise of that entire graveyard episode
yeah.
video game
Yeah.
portion was you were finding Cubone's dead mom.
Which doesn't make any sense to me because the skull that Cubones wear is the skull of their mom.
Of the moms.
That's supposedly what it's supposed to be, but
No,
That's
that's
what it
true.
said in
It's
the
what
original
it's what they
description.
but
actually
like,
put it in.
But like,
So he knows where his mom is buried.
Yeah.
right? But
How
I
did
don't,
he
I don't know.
strip the
It was-
the meat off of his mother's
Oh my
face
God.
to get it down to his skull?
He eat it.
Because there's a different. Oh, did he eat it or did he boil it off? Because there's a couple different ways you can do that.
I mean, you got to eat it.
So they ate it. Okay. So Cubone are also cannibals. Or like spiders,
Yeah.
like spiders. Okay.
What are we talking
Yeah,
about right now?
well, not count. But yeah, anyway.
Why are we on this?
So anyways,
So Pokemon.
the music was
Anyways.
causing kids to commit suicide.
Yeah, it was like creepy.
I don't.
So
believe
I'm
that.
gonna
That's
read
like,
this.
That's like
But-
people saying
but I did
Ozzy
just-
Osbourne had like.
But I
Satanist
did
messages.
just read something that said that was a hoax.
Yeah.
What
I'll-
is true though is that the music and the lights of a Pokemon episode caused like 900
Yeah, see,
children into Japan.
the
Epilepsy.
Porygon Z
Seizure.
episode, the
Yeah.
Porygon episode
Yes, that is
was
true.
banned
Yes.
because Porygon was so gnarly.
Yeah,
That people were having
caused epileptic
seizures, yeah.
seizures. Yeah, it was bad.
So that did happen.
So that for those of you who don't know about this story, because this is an old thing, was this music? Because there's a lot that goes with this thing that happened. So, the details do vary. So some people say the kids were committing suicide. Other people say that they're being haunted.
Show me one
Other
dead
people-
kid.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Give me their cartridge. I want to check this out.
But following the release of Pokemon Red and Green,
Give me a reason.
there were a number of reported child suicides in Japan. The thing responsible for suicide varies somewhat depending on the story, but the one that was heard the most was the location in Lavender Town, sorry. One of the few towns in Pokemon Red and Green without a Pokemon gym. Or specifically, the story refers to a song that plays whenever the player visits Lavender Town, which is like that eerie... Yeah. Before we get any further, I insist that you listen to the song. I will say, listen to the song, and then come back.
Find the original
You can
version
find
of the
it.
song.
All you got to do is just search Lavender Town Creepy or something on YouTube. And you'll
Yeah,
find
like
it.
the original version of the song is
Yeah.
different from the version
Yeah.
that's actually in the game, which is what makes this believable.
Yeah.
I don't.
In
believe
some
that.
versions
show me one dead
of the
child.
tale, it said that the programmers for Pokemon Red and Green created the song with code that would later drive children to kill themselves.
How would
The
you even code that?
The song.
I have an if-then statement.
I wouldn't
see out child murder music.
See, I don't see it
song-
being code. I
No,
see
it's
it being.
not.
I mean, music can affect you in crazy
yeah,
ways.
it can.
I mean, you can have like emotional
I mean, there is
like
that
reactions to
there is-
music, but to the point where you like commit suicide.
in that
like, come on.
article, or in one article that I was reading, they actually linked it to another song that was written in the 40s that was causing people to commit suicide or go into a really big depression because of the song. Like, I forget what it was called.
I mean, but that's never been proven because we study like there's I forget what's the name for an audio scientist, auditory. There's like a word for it. Like
We'll go with it.
so like if you go to Vegas, like slot machines all play music in tones of C, E, G, A because those elicit happy feelings from people.
Yeah, they're
and
majors.
we've proven that. But there's yet to be any scientific study that's proven that there is like B minors make people kill themselves.
Did
or
you
like
see
there's no brown note.
Did you
Like
see
that's
this-
not real.
yeah,
the
no.
brown note. Do you know what the brown note is?
Did you see the study where you know what the brown note is?
The brown note is there's supposedly like 56 levels below D minor
Yeah.
is a note, and like I think only like one instrument can play it. That'll make you like crap your
The
pants.
reason it became big was because
What?
of South Park.
Yeah.
I've never
It
heard
became
of
big because of South Park. They hit the note in front of a huge crowd and everyone just
Everyone crap themselves. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never heard this
that?
before. No,
Yeah.
that's great.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad that exists.
that's not been proven.
Yeah.
Like,
Fantastic.
can we use music in psychological warfare?
Did you-
Yes.
did you
we
see
did it
the-
in Vietnam and Afghanistan? We've done tons of times.
Did you see
Panama.
the thing that they had? What was it? It was the study they had playing metal music for rats that ended up becoming like cannibalistic
Yeah.
because they were listening to metal music 24/7 and
Yeah.
they like ended up eating each other.
But my counter argument to that is that anyone that says like metal music will make you a cannibal is
Well, I
basically
mean, I've
saying,
always wanted to
well,
eat
no,
people.
I'm saying basically you're saying that you have the intelligence level of a rat.
Yeah. I mean, I've always
So-
wanted to eat people.
Yeah. They call it long pig in the Amazon.
You're
True
just
story.
full of knowledge, aren't you?
Kind of tastes like pork. I understand that.
So, anyways,
It smells like bacon.
it was weird. I don't know. I think that it's false. Obviously, that Pokemon thing.
Yeah,
But-
I mean,
But it is weird.
it gets believable.
There's
but-
also a really creepy thing about it too. Someone, I can't remember where I saw it, but when I was first researching this, like way back when this first came out,
Is this where
was
the ghost pulls you through the ground?
no, no, that's stupid.
No, you did you hear that?
I know about that, yeah, but
that would corrupt the whole game.
yeah. Go ahead and yeah.
Oh, I just thought that's where you were going. Like,
No.
because I've heard stories too.
The weird thing about it is in that song when it starts getting, because there's a part in the song if you let it play through long enough, it starts getting all staticky
Yeah.
and messed up and everything. If you print the waveform out in that, so you know the unknown Pokemon,
Yeah.
they're in the waveform of the song.
See, that's not believable at all.
No, it is. It's in the waveform. Like if you actually just plug in a headphone jack and play it through like whatever audio capturing software, and you let that song play through long enough, it gets to the point where it's all like there's the unknown in the waveform.
But that's not how waveforms work.
How
I don't
would
know.
you even do that?
Someone online did it, and then like
No,
it's
no.
been.
I'm saying how, as a programmer, would you do that?
I don't know.
That's
And
my
nothing's
point.
impossible.
I'm
See,
not
but-
saying nothing's it's impossible. I'm
But that's
just
not the way waveforms work, though.
Yeah.
Like that's,
No, I agree. But you could create something that could affect the waveform.
I mean, you can Photoshop something to look like it. Yeah.
but if you're capturing it in real time and it's coming up that way,
But
I would
are
say-
you capturing it in real time?
yeah.
Like, yeah, you're capturing it in real time, but then you
I'm
can,
going to Google.
you can edit it.
I mean-
Anyway, so where I was going with this was there's also a theory on top of the "Can't Kill Yourself" song, where kids are just offing themselves because the song is creepy. But there's also a theory that in those games, when you fought Cubone's mother, instead of dying, you killed her. No. Sorry. Instead of beating her, she killed you and all your Pokemon. It was a little cutscene that would come up. Your screen would turn into static, and then it would be somebody. It would like the letterboxes would come up that somebody was talking to you, saying, "Now you can join us." And then it was little. It showed like you in the fight scene with nothing on the other side, and then little 8-bit hands would come up and then pull you down. And then your game would get corrupted, and it would just be like that black Nintendo bar every time you try to start it up.
Okay, so I've seen that.
I've seen that.
No one has ever shown me like and proven to me.
Right. It was just kind of cool.
Yeah. Because the first video game officially that ever could alter your memory card or save data was Metal Gear Solid 1.
Was it?
Oh, we've talked about this before.
The Metal
Yeah.
Gear Solid 1, when you're fighting Psycho Mantis, do you ever play Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
If you just run around and you don't like fight him or let him kill you, he'll start talking to you. And if you've played other Konami games like Castlevania, he'll be like, "Oh, I see you've gotten this far on Castlevania. Well, too bad it's gone now," and he'll delete it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's jacked up.
Well, you'd have to run around for like a half an hour. And
It's
not
more running than I'd ever like to
Yeah,
do.
but like it's one of those things like in the Metal Gear Solid 3, you fight this guy who's I forget his name. He's
Psycho
just-
Mantis.
No, who's the old guy in the third Metal Gear Solid, the sniper?
Oh,
The End.
The end.
The end. If you like take more than like 30 hours of game time to get to him, he just dies of old age, and you don't have to fight him.
Yeah.
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 See, look. I'll just here's the waveform. Dude. So there's the waveform in it right now, and all the unknown. Like that's a haunter or whatever it is, and then there's the unknown.
Well,
symbols that
that's
go through.
that's the ghost that comes up when the Marowak when the ghost Marowak comes up.
Yeah.
That's not how
That's
waveforms.
in the waveform.
That's not how
That's not how it
waveforms work,
looks.
though.
Look it up.
I know,
But how
I
are
understand this. I am on the same
But
page
how
with
are
you.
they-
how it looks.
I understand.
The
I'm on the
question is,
same
how
page
are they
with you guys.
capturing this right now?
Huh,
It's not
they're-
real
With the
time.
screen grab.
I think he's just like had the waveform and used like fraps or something to capture it. I don't know.
Yeah, which
I don't
which
believe
can
that.
be we've all
Photoshop.
video edited.
Yeah.
We've all used After Effects.
Unless you had like a dual camera setup where he like puts in the game, I see him put in the game,
and then playing
he's
it, and then
got-
capturing
it,
and taking a video of that.
Like I would
capture.
need to like aside from that,
I'd have
I'd
to
need
be
to be
there.
there. Yeah, exactly, to believe that because I just don't.
I mean, I'm with you guys as well. Like
I can't imagine
I understand,
a way that you would do that.
I understand how waveform works as well. It doesn't work that way, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Explain. Okay, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying explain to me how you would do that.
I have no idea.
Okay. there you
Yeah,
go.
It's unexplainable. I don't know.
mean that like fine of graphics through a waveform is it just doesn't work that way.
I understand. I agree with you. I understand.
What you'd get is you'd get a thinner waveform than normal, and it would just be wavy like this.
Yeah.
Also, okay, let's just say that waveform is real.
Okay.
Why would those shapes cause people to kill themselves?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was that. It wasn't that
doesn't-
part that was
But
causing people
I
to kill
mean,
themselves.
why would that music cause people to kill themselves? Like, if you've ever heard, the worst or the most difficult piano song to play ever?
I think I have.
Like, it's just stupid. Like how like I've seen like one person ever like do it successfully online, and they're like, oh, anyone that like is able to play it like then like kills themselves because it's like the like tedium of like learning how to do it, because like the last notes you literally have to like get up on a piano and use your foot and arms to like hit the keys.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why it's called the most
Sounds
difficult
like you should
song.
have killed yourself a long time ago.
But that's my point. Is like, yeah, I feel like it's like a creepypasta, like
yeah,
no sleep, like kind of BS thing.
The rake thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this has gotten way off topic.
It has.
But I
We're
mean,
on the top of the music. It counts.
but I mean, like a lot of things online. I know that you can't believe a lot of things online, but things are even harder to believe when you know what people can do with Photoshop or video editing or anything like that. Like anything can be done to anything.
I mean, did Trump actually punch out CNN at WWE?
That looked pretty
probably
real.
not. I mean, but probably not. That was from like so long ago. Do you not know what we're talking about?
I do. I just.
Oh, come on! The meme war is hilarious. It's so funny.
Why do we go there?
Because it's funny.
So,
My favorite is
um,
Trump as Han Solo and CNN as Greedo.
yeah.
That's the best one. I love that they just keep throwing in his face, like the lips pursed. I love it.
I just got attacked by the microphone.
It's the ghost From Lavender Town.
From Lavender Town.
Dude, do you guys hear the music?
Dude,
I'm gonna go kill myself.
It'd be weird if you actually just did right now. Like, just, so that's been kind of weird. You know, and there's been, I'm sure there's so much other weird juju out there that I don't even know about, that we all probably don't even know about.
Oh,
but
yeah.
what is really cool is that there are bands out there that revolve all of their music around video games. Like, video games has been such an impact on people, you know, in the music industry, that they decided our entire project's gonna be based off video games.
Mm-hmm.
What are you smiling about? What are you smiling about?
You want to see Steve roll his eyes?
Why do you do this to me? Oh my gosh! I didn't even start it yet. I know it's coming. You say freaking Dark Souls. I'll punch you in the throat. Are you gonna say Dark Souls?
It was.
I knew it.
But it's to make a point.
What's the point?
Okay, the point is, so we've been a band for a bit. We were signed to Roadrunner, with major label, on big tours with like Kill Switch Engage and stuff like that. And our music videos online get pretty decent amount of hits. The one that has the most has a little over a million.
I know what you're gonna talk about.
And the one that has like the second most is like at 700,000 or something like that views, which is great. We did a Dark Souls song for a guy who does lore videos online for Dark Souls.
You can say his name.
Vadi Vidya. I don't know if anybody watches Vadi Vidya.
Free
but
plug.
He does like all the lore stuff for Bloodborne and Dark Souls. Just makes long videos about it to explain the lore. So we did a Souls song along with one of his lore videos, and within like 2 weeks, it got 600,000 views, and now it's almost up to 1 million, and it's only been out for 5 months, 6 months.
Do you think that's more from the Dark Souls
And-
crowd or from your crowd?
And I just feel like it's more. I know it's more from the Dark Souls crowd. like I know that like I've seen that even like with video games and music, it feels like it goes more hand in hand than music and music fans. Like video game fans are so much more into music that they can relate to.
I feel like, and this might be why, is that the music fans have a more like snobbish crowd.
They're picky.
Whereas video games are kind of like real video gamers are very like
Passionate.
This
I was gonna say libertarian.
I mean,
You
the
know
way
what I
I see
mean?
it
Like,
is
well, not political view. I'm
No, I
saying
understand.
libertarian about their views on video games.
Yeah.
Like, just because I don't like this game doesn't mean it's not good.
Right.
You know, everyone that doesn't work for Polygon, Ars Technica, IGN,
Are morons.
Kotaku,
Are morons.
you know, real video game
real
players.
video. Yeah.
I will never get over
it's-
that Polygon article.
it's more about like this.
Wait,
video
which
game
one?
or this music pertains to the video game that I'm playing, or I
It
don't know. I just feel like they're more loyal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. The Polygon article I was talking about, and it ties in with what we're going to do right now, what we are doing.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Why are we here?
Not
Who
much.
are you?
Life is meaningless. Is that song? No, the Polygon article I'm talking about was when Rock Band first came out. Polygon.
Oh.
Polygon. I forget the name of the guy,
I know
but
exactly what
he's a
you're talking
pretentious douchebag.
Yeah,
he wrote,
you.
He is. You're a pretentious douchebag. The article that he wrote about Rock Band, because they had this big premiere in Santa Monica, like at one of their nicer hotels, and they had people like on the like penthouse like balcony, and they had it like displayed on the wall. People were having fun playing Rock Band, you know, because it's a party game. Like
It's a party game.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
It's a great game to just get, you know, have drinks with friends and just like wail on like some songs. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun.
I agree.
We did it at Matt's party.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
awesome.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It's a
We
fun
got dressed
game.
up and stuff.
Yeah,
It was fun.
It was fun. But this guy wrote the most pretentious, douchey article that had little to nothing about the game because he didn't even play it. And the article was
Yeah.
about, oh, I wish I could enjoy playing games like this like everyone else. I guess I'm just like too cool. It's like, it was.
Then he flips the table, PC Master Race,
Yeah,
and then
he-
just runs around the room with his underwear on.
It wasn't even that. He was just like a typical LA like hipster.
Okay.
Like too cool to play a game at like a cool party in a nice hotel in Santa Monica that you're being paid to do. Like, how many people get to live out and, like get paid for something they're truly passionate
Very,
about?
very small amount.
You know what I mean? And the fact that you have the opportunity to do that, and you're going to be a pretentious, like,
Jerk about it.
douchebag
Yeah.
about it? Like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. You're living, like, the dream of every kid who grew up playing video games.
That's most people, though.
But my point, I guess my point is, like, you're, like, too cool to write an article that you're getting paid for while, like, having free drinks at a cool hotel in Santa Monica. Like,
I agree.
I don't understand that. And that's why game journalism is dead. Like,
Which we've talked about before.
game journalism is dead.
It is. But
It's like 4 paragraphs in, and he said nothing about the game.
Yeah, it's
like,
really
it's
bad.
ridiculous.
so yeah, a lot of bands have video games have been a really big influence on a lot of bands. Been an influence on your guys' band, actually.
Yeah,
For the most part.
for the most part.
You guys did
Half of
the
us.
song that you were talking about, by the way, is called Hollow.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you're better at this than I am.
And you guys can find that like on Bandcamp. People can buy it.
It's on Bandcamp.
It's
It's
on
on
Bandcamp.
YouTube. There's a bunch of people who have started.
Yeah. If you just search Hardest Hollow, it'll come up. Download it. It's awesome. It's a really good song.
It's actually a cool song.
It's a really, really good song.
You're like, I hate it.
I actually
but-
don't like Dark Souls, obviously, but it's a really good song.
It is.
Based upon it.
And if you watch on Vadi Video's channel, it's actually really good with the lore video that goes along with it. It fits really well.
I know, like, we kind of touched over it, but I want to kind of revisit.
Touch it again.
I will, maybe a third time. The cool thing about Rock Band is that it allowed a generation of people who, like, might not have grown up listening to, like, bands like specifically the rock band The Beatles, right?
Right.
And Aerosmith and
Yeah.
all those ones.
I'm just
Metallica.
like the sales for the back catalog of Beatles albums like just shot up
Oh, yeah.
after like 2 weeks after the game came out.
Yeah.
The other great thing, and this
That's
is
why that's one reason why they do it.
yeah, well, I mean, that was one reason. The other great thing, and I don't know if you guys know about this, but they took the original masters, so the separated tracks, the original masters at Apple Studios,
Yeah.
in order to make the game.
Yeah.
So when you listen to the music, like if you just like started up the game and you played, you just set it up so you wouldn't like have to play anything because you can just listen to the music, and you played that. That is the truest form of those songs that you can listen to on digital media because every track is separated out instead of being mixed together.
I'm sure you guys have seen on Facebook how everyone's doing the vocal edit or the vocal takes of the song with like just vocal. They're getting that from Rock Band and Guitar Hero and stuff like that.
I would argue that that's more of like a Pet Sounds thing. Because I feel like Pet Sounds was the first one to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, like all the videos that are coming out now, if you look at it, like a lot of songs they have are either on Guitar Hero because you go into the files of the game and they're all right there.
Did you ever hear that on the Pet Sounds double album? Like have you heard that where it's just their vocal tracks?
No.
So it's the entire album and you can listen to it without music. So it's just their harmonies.
Yeah,
Huh.
just their
It's
harmonies.
amazing.
It's
They're
pretty crazy.
so great.
I'll have to check
Like
that out.
before auto-tune, one take. They're
Really?
Beach Boys were amazing.
I'll check that out.
They were
That sounds
fantastic harmonizers.
There's a lot of bands out there that like we were saying, they have either worked in video games, made songs based off their favorite video games, or they have completely revolved their entire project around video games. It's even sparked really, really cool YouTube channels like Smooth McGroove. Smooth McGroove, right? Smooth McGroove is awesome. You know what Smooth McGroove is?
Yeah.
He's a
You
guy
know
that
what
just
he
goes.
reminded me of? He reminded me of
He's awesome.
the very first like music video game I ever played, which was Parappa the Rappa.
Dude.
That's exactly what it
Parappa the Rapper.
I feel like that's what pretty much Smooth the Groove is. Like it's kind
Yeah.
of like a new
twist on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Parappa the Rappa was awesome.
Proper the
Parappa
Rap
the Rapper.
was great. For those of you who don't know what that
Moment of
is,
silence for Parappa the Rapper.
it was a weird game back
Oh,
when the
so
PS1
weird.
came out, where like you had a.
Was he a dog?
He was a dog.
A
He was
kar-
a dog
he was a
with the
dog.
beard.
Yeah, and he had the
Right.
karate master guy whose like head was like an onion or something. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has beanie on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Parappa the Rapper.
And you had
It was
to
a
rap
rapping
and-
game.
It was great.
It was a
It
rapping
was
game.
hard.
Oh, it was very.
It was
hard.
freaking hard.
Beat
It wasn't
it.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all music games are bad.
I enjoy
don't know,
Rock
I don't know
Band.
of any music games that are. I mean,
I don't like the new Guitar Hero.
the Rock Band Guitar Hero knockoffs. Those are bad.
Yeah.
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 No, you want to know what game was
I enjoy
incredible?
I enjoy what's the one
Guitar
where you,
Smith is really
Yeah,
good.
That's what I was
is that
gonna
the
say,
one where you
Guitar
play with an
Smith.
actual
That's what I was
guitar?
gonna
I
talk
have
about that.
I love
Yeah,
it.
because you can.
I have
you can
it, my
learn
dad
how to
has
play
it.
guitar
yeah.
on it.
I
It's
love it.
fantastic.
It's great.
Love that
Yeah.
game.
If you
It's-
actually want to learn how to play guitar, get Guitar Smith.
It'll teach
Guitar
you.
Smith.
Yeah.
It'll
And
teach
get a
you.
guitar. It's
You
great.
can plug in any guitar to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Any electric guitar.
It's like
I
the
actually
most awesome
used,
technology
I
ever for
actually,
music.
just because I was curious if it would work, I used a pickup that I like one of those slide-in pickups for an acoustic,
yeah,
and it worked with that too.
Oh yeah, as long as you can plug it into
Yeah.
a quarter inch, it'll work.
Well, I mean those pickups like that you slide in are
Yeah,
always terrible.
they're kind of terrible.
I mean,
but,
it's a
but
nice.
it picks
it's,
it up.
It's a Markley, so it's a nicer one.
Okay.
But they all suck.
Yeah, they're all
they all
kinda
sound
awful.
terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they for sure. But no, yeah, Guitar Smith is.
I love
It's
that.
great.
I keep wanting to get
Rocksmith,
it, but it
maybe.
I
keeps
have it.
being really expensive.
I have it. I have it for the PS3.
It's like consistently over $60, and I can't do it.
Yeah. It's because
my
of that
PS3
piece.
is here.
Yeah,
It makes it. But it was on sale on Steam during the summer sale for like $15 or something.
it?
Yeah.
We can do it.
I didn't
mean,
think
we
about
should
that.
probably we could if we ever do. I mean, I doubt we ever will because the last live stream was so terrible. But if we ever do a
It
live stream
was.
again, we should do that because
Yeah.
my PS3 is here and I have it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Our
you
last
can-
stream was bad.
You can plug in. You can. Oh, we need another.
Was that the
one.
Dragon Ball Z one?
I have another one.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we can plug in a guitar and a bass.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like
I'm
two
okay
of them.
with those.
I think 2 or 3 of them. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because me and my dad were playing.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So
Stay tuned.
yeah, we'll play that. So music and video games have always been amazing, and sometimes hasn't been all that great, but
Sometimes it makes you kill yourself.
yeah, apparently. There's a lot of bands out there.
What's
A
that?
couple bands that I listen to who revolve their music around video games is Proto Men. Is a whole entire project is revolved around the Mega Man universe.
MC Chris had a whole album
Yep.
about video games.
The Megas are obviously about Mega Man as well. That's a great. I think if you were gonna do it, you should do it based off Mega Man because that's a great universe to base it off of. It's got robots and really cool stuff in it. It's like an anime too. Mega
That
Man's
anime
great.
was terrible.
Just saying, it's an anime.
Do you
But it's got it.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's still an
awful.
anime. Well, which one?
The original one.
Okay, the OG one.
Yeah.
Not disagreeing with you. And it sparked great stuff like Smooth the Groove, who just sits in front of a camera and goes ba 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 ba, and redoes all music, and it's great, and it's
Yeah.
really accurate. And then you have who's that one guy on YouTube who plays the electric guitar, and all his stuff is based off video games and old TV movies and TV show intros and
Is
stuff.
that the dude with the 7-string?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he's great.
Gnarly.
Dude's
Yeah,
awesome.
I can't think of his name.
But it sparked a lot of stuff. video
wait, no,
games.
that's not the dude from Our Last Night, is it?
No.
No, he also had that.
Because Our Last Night does mostly like
he had a
covers
video of
movie
him.
stuff.
Doing,
It's
him
the
doing
like
Mario on an
it would be like
11-string
Teenage
bass.
Mutant Ninja Turtles meets
that
metal.
guy that had the
That-
Mario on the 11th Street. That thing was
That guy.
tight.
Same guy.
Oh,
It's
okay. I didn't know he
hold
did
on.
more.
Yeah, that was awesome too.
it's
Did you guys ever see the
331 E-Rock.
Did you guys ever see the Super Mario drum cover?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Dude.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Travis Barker did that.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Too.
as good.
I like that.
I liked it. I did, but the kid that did it at first was like just some unknown
Yeah.
metalcore
Dude.
drummer,
Yeah.
and it came out really good. He might not have been unknown. He was unknown to me.
I didn't know him, so he's not famous.
Yeah, there you go. I know Travis Barker. Not personally.
Old video game music was so good that I think that forever there are some old video game tunes that will just live on forever and ever and ever.
I agree.
And ever. And ever. Super Mario theme, Pac-Man, to
I
name
mean,
a couple.
Yeah.
Dig Dug.
Stradivarius did
Dude, Dig
Strata
Dug.
Fortress, which was just all right there, buddy.
Jeez, dude.
You are both having mic issues right now.
This one came at me on its own.
Dude, it's because we're talking about Lavender Town. It's about to happen.
Yeah, dude, that's trying to kill us.
It's going down.
I don't believe in ghosts.
With that, we should probably wrap up. It's been a very educational episode of the Likable Geeks podcast. We just die. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, as well as a few other platforms. The links will be down here, down below. You just said every time, and it doesn't even do that.
Well, I didn't do it this time.
No, him. He was going, and it doesn't even do that.
Oh yeah, I do the.
'Cause I do it for you.
I go like this.
I'm
I go-
saving you time editing. My
Go.
bad.
You don't.
I do the Vanna White.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does
nice.
the Vanna White thing.
Or I'll just hold my.
Yeah. You can find all of our social media
Always not.
networks
Never there.
and news and updates and soon merchandise at reallylikablegeeks.com. The link will be down here down below. Visit that. You can get to everywhere from that website.
What if you just did this? It'd be the whole box.
We have a Patreon. You can visit patreon.com/likablegeeks and you can get really cool perks there. You can hear a super secret podcast and also
Super secret
get almost like a Real
podcast.
Likable Geeks monthly box sent to your house with like shirts and dice and all sorts of fun stuff.
Almost like a.
Use even pledges you can get on the show
Use tissues.
or call in on the show and get your own topic on the show.
Tell us what to talk about.
Go to patreon.com/likablegeeks if you want to pledge and support the show directly. You can find me on Twitter at that Stephen Brown.
Oh, you can. Hi. You can find me at Dysentery Gary 44.
You can find me
Did
at
you like that?
Stu _ no last name.
I did like
No.
that. It was fun. Oh, hi. Never seen a more deer in the headlights look ever. My name's Jeff. My name's Jeff. MySpace, is that what you said? Oh, goodness. Thank you guys for stopping by and listening to us. Words are hard. Listen to us talk about video game music and the history of and controversies like people killing themselves over Pokemon music, which doesn't make any sense.
And a whole lot of rambling off topic.
That's going to be really annoying
Seems
later.
Seems to happen a lot
It does.
when I'm on the podcast.
No,
What's
we do
that?
We always
Just
do
kind of
that.
goes.
What's that?
It's rambling about.
That's all this podcast
Going
ever is. Just us
95%
rambling
of
about
our
stuff.
podcast is one of us ranting
I
about
know.
something.
Yeah, and the other people disagreeing and then fighting.
That's fair.
You're stupid.
Yeah,
That's
this
fair.
is dumb. I hate this. All right, bye, everybody.